welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. Please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us out when we're sharing all this content here. We've got our large compost heating system. We're going to be getting all our wood chips allocated in here. We've got a friend with a tractor, so it's going to save my back a ton of work getting this filled up. I'm going to be able to inoculate this whole pile with nitrogen and have a quick hot pile that's going to last for many months. So we're going to be pairing our compost heating with a bunch of hoops. We've got our hoops made up. I got a bunch of free conduit here, and I just basically bent these up on my own with a small little guide. I had pounded some stakes in the ground to get these to the size and shape I wanted. These are very tall. I'm going to be experimenting with some shorter hoops, but I'm not going to be heating them. The shorter hoops will be over here. So once we get our hoops on this side, we're going to be transferring the heat all the way through down into all of these hoops. We will have plastic up over these, and we should be able to hold pretty good temperatures, being that we'll have a second layer on the outside of our greenhouse. So we'll have 2 layers of poly outside and an extra layer covering everything inside. So let's go take a look at the jig or the diagram I have for these poles here, and you're basically gonna get the gist of it right off the bat. I am pinching my pole and bending it all the way around here. Very simple and very straightforward. So this wasn't the cleanest job or bend ever. I could do it a lot better if I had an actual tube bender or a pipe bender. You can see how I've only got 3 stress points basically, and you can add as many pieces to this as you want. As you're coming around your hoop here, you basically just measure from the one side to the other side, your base to your base, so you can basically see what you want for a width. So this was just rude and crude, and I was just trying to get this done quick. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 poles. 6 poles was all it really took to get a decent bend. I still wanted pretty well straight sides on it so I could push it down and have some firmness to it. So this is a pretty straightforward process. I need to water the ground a little bit. That way I can get these poles in a little deeper and actually pound them in, stake them in. So how I'm gonna be setting this up, like I said, is using my compost heat inside these little hoops so I can keep the heat closer to my plants. That way the vegetation doesn't die back, but the roots stay alive. I want the whole plant to stay alive, and I want to be able to harvest and regrow all winter long here. So this is my next best bet to get a couple more rows of cover basically and shelter all that heat in. That's why we built this greenhouse the way we did. It's only about 7.5, 8 feet tall in a few spots because we wanted all that low ceiling to hold the heat. Now this was a very easy DIY to get these hoops bent and basically just put them in place, and all I got to do is cut my plastic and come in and cover these and sow the seed underneath. I'll hold a lot more moisture down closer to the ground also inside these tunnels. So all around, this is going to benefit our greenhouse, our crops, and our harvest throughout the entire winter. Now the reason I didn't buy pre-bent hoops is because I found all this conduit for free. I was helping a guy clean up his yard, so I saved myself at least $100 or so by bending these hoops myself and finding free material to recycle.